Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. It's Monday, it's new build day, and today I'm going to make a solemn vow to you. I am going to be promising that I will be serving the public trust, I will protect the innocent, and I will most certainly be upholding the law. Today we start the Fanhome release of Build Robocop.
Drop it!
This one sort of came up from nowhere and just pounced on me. So obviously this arrived last week. I did actually tease this on the live stream on Thursday, but today we're actually going to start building the first two packs. I am going to show you the magazine. We'll look through the instructions. We'll do what we normally do on the builds and build the first two packs on the channel. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen because you know me, I love a QR code that you can scan on your phone and it will take you straight to the Fanhome website to get this for yourself. But let's show you the brochure. So all these new builds come with a brochure, which is sort of like a guide to the build, if you like. So this is what it looks like. Now this does open up into a great big poster. A Robocop looks like this. Now it's a mixture of ABS and metal, and it looks like this. It mostly looks metal to me. It's 2 foot or 62 centimeters tall. It's got loads of working features. So you've got articulated holster with removable gun, metallic injection molded plastic parts. It's carefully applied metallic grey paint. The face shape is constructed in silicone. That's going to be interesting to look at. Realistic metal pistols. Look, you've got the spike coming out of the hand here. Just loads to do. Now, if I turn this over, you've got a premium offer when you subscribe at the time of doing this video where you can get a light up stand for this to sit on. Let's open this up. Again, on this side, it's basically, again, telling you about the Robocop, telling you about the magazines and what you expect to find in them. As you subscribe at the moment, it's showing you some of the free gifts you get when you subscribe. This may change at the time of this video. This is what they're currently offering, which is a cap, a power bank for a phone, a t-shirt, prints. But again, this can change further down the line. Even if it's offered, it may not be offered in the future. But I'm just showing you that just so you can see what it was doing at the time, which means now I get to open up this whole thing. And there you go. It's massive. Now, this isn't to scale, I don't think. No, it's definitely not to scale, but it's great to have a poster that comes with this build. So, Robocop, new build. Let's do it. Let's get on to stage one. Let's get cracking. So this is the magazine for stage one. So I'm going to flick through this, slightly smaller than A4. And it's telling you all about the Robocop film. And the first thing we're going to do, probably the most iconic thing, is create the head, which looks like this. This is amazing that we're doing that first. So at the end of it, we're going to have a head that's looking just like this. And again, it's continuing on with the Robocop film, but also about robots in general. But this is the first magazine. Again, the magazines are pretty much a collector's item in themselves. And this is the first stage in the magazine. As you can see here, loads to do, and you can see the iconic helmet here. Let's get this open. So this is what we're working on the interior of the head section first. So I've got the right side, the left side, these two parts here, and we do have this plate of metal, which is painted black. It's this that we need first, and it's just going to go into this section just here. So when I put it in, it's going to sit in like that. The next piece we've got is this one here, which is an internal plate, and that's going into the slot below it, making sure that's fitting perfectly in there like that. And then the last thing is the collar here. That's just going on the lip at the bottom here, so just make sure that's in, and it should hold itself in like that. And then what we're going to do is close this together by putting on the other side, so match everything up, and it should slot together, just checking every part's in. It should be quite a nice flush fit around there, as you can see. Now, all the screws in this build are labelled in the bag. So we've got an AP screw first. It's ending in a P, and that means that we're screwing into plastic. So get these loaded up on my screwdriver. I'm using a Wera PH0 screwdriver. This is available in my Amazon store, and that was linked at the start of this video. So let's get these in. So I'll start this one here. That's number one. And as you can see, we've got 2, 3, 4 to put in. Now, I know I mention this on every build, but with plastic screws, you don't want to over tighten them. So what you do is you put the screw in, Wait till you feel it tight and then just try and turn it another, say, 10 degrees. That will be tight enough. If you over tighten them, you are at risk of stripping the thread and then the parts won't hold together at all. But there we go, that's the internal section of the head completed. Okay, the fun bit. This is the helmet. This is all metal. Don't know if you can hear that. It's heavy. It looks amazing. Look at that. That's probably the most iconic part of this build, and I'm so glad we're doing it now. What we're going to do first is we're going to be mounting earpieces just here and here. This is what the earpieces look like. They have got a keyhole pattern on the side, so they can only go in one way. It's going to follow the keyhole pattern that we've got there and fit flush in there like that. They're going to be held in from the other side here with some QP screws. Now these are flange screws, as you can see in this bag here. Bit tricky to get these in because you're kind of putting them in at an angle, as you can see here. So get it lined up and then just go really slow on this to make sure that you're not screwing it in at an angle. You don't want to do that, you're going to have a bad time. But there you go, that's in like that. Do the same on the other side. Rotate that round and screw this in. I've got to show you a little bit of the detail on here in a second. Hang on a second, let's get that one in. Perfect. Look, OCP Police 001. I do love that in the side there. Now, we're going to be putting this magnet mount into place. Now, if you look at the helmet, we've got this arrow in here pointing towards the back. On the back of this mount as well, we do have an arrow. We need to make sure these arrows are going in the same direction. So it's going to go in this way, just like that there. Now, this is going to be held in with EM screws. Now, got those screws here. Let's get them open. Now, this is going into metal. So I use oil. Let me just show you this oil. This is available in my Amazon store. Again, if you follow that link at the start with the link tree, you'll see my Amazon store linked in the UK and the US. So all I do is I just tuck that in the front. If I need to pump this oil up, I just pump it like that and it pumps it to the surface. When I'm keeping it stored, I can just close the lid. But again, that is in my Amazon store. I do have a little bit of oil on my mat now. Let's clear that up. Okay. The reason I put it in oil, because we're putting the screw in oil here, it's just going to help us get that screw into place. It helps to cut through any paint that might be on that metal. It also helps cut through any metal that might be on that metal. Kind of like threading or re-threading the thread without using a tap. But these are going in really easy, so shouldn't have that issue. But there you go. That's in place. Now, when we put the magnet in, we're going to have it this way up, so the indent is actually facing upwards. Put that in there. Pretty hard to manipulate it because the screws that are in there are going to try and steal the magnet from us. But that's in like that. Get an AP screw. Hold it with your finger on the screwdriver like this, because again, as soon as this touches the magnet, it's going to try and move. And then we're just going to screw that in to the hole here. So I think I've got that first time, and screw that into place. Just like that. So that magnet is not moving now. We got the visor for the helmet to go in. Now this is just going to be going into the point just here, and it just needs to be slid into the channels here and here. So it holds itself. So that looks like that. And then because of that magnet, we can now put this on the helmet here, just like this. And it's going to snap into place like that. That is absolutely brilliant. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now, before I end this stage, just to let you know, they do provide a screwdriver if you don't have one. So this will get you started off. You will have a lot of easy time using one of these larger ones though. But if you haven't got a screwdriver, you're good to go. So, stage 2, which is the last stage in this pack. Again, this is the magazine. Oh, I love that broken Ed 209 there. That's what we need next, an Ed 209 model to complement this one. And as you can see, we're going to start on the right foot for this one. So this is all the parts that we're going to be putting together. So by the end of it, the foot is going to look just like that. And again, a little bit more about robots, automation, and that is the magazine there. Again, this is another heavy pack for the foot, so I'm guessing a lot of the stuff in the foot is going to be metal. So let's open this up, and that's exactly what it looks like. And yes, most of the parts in here are metal. The first two items I need are both metal, and this is the heel support. We're just going to be putting this rod into the top, just like this here. It's actually going to be held in from the other side with an AM screw. Got them here. I've put it in a bit of oil, and I've got this screw in. Once I've started that off, get that nice and tight. You can go tight into metal, won't worry about that. There you go, that's the heel support in place. Now taking the main section of the foot, again, a great big block of metal this is. It is going to be a heavy old model, this one. This is just going to be going into the pivot point just there, and it's held in with AM screws each side. So I'm just going to let that hold itself in like that. Load up an AM screw, put it in a bit of oil. And when I say put it in, I'm only touching the tip there with oil. I'm not putting the whole screw in, and get this into place. So one that side and one the other side there. Perfect. So should be able to articulate. Just going to tighten this one up here, and it shouldn't be too floppy, but there you go, that's in place. Now we're going to be making a ball joint now. This ball joint here is metal. We're going to have a small cap to put over the end, which looks like that, which is going to go over the top like that there. On top of that, we've got a larger cap, which is going to go on top of that one there. You see how this is working? And then this whole thing is going to be capped off with this section, just like this here. So this is going to go in over the top, making sure none of this falls out. Probably best to do it this way round. So if I do it this way round, it would be the larger cap in there, then the smaller cap like that, and then the ball joint will go on top like this. Now this is going to be going through that center hole there. So it's coming up this way, and I'm going to be putting this onto the cross section underneath the foot just here. Now that's going to be held in with 4 CM screws. Now you don't want to worry about the orientation of that piece because it's a ball joint. So you can twist it, turn it, move it in every direction. Now, if I can give you any advice from the builds that I've done before, make sure this is in really tight, okay? Because when you've got the fulcrum of the additional leg pieces on here, it's going to go wobbly if that's too loose. So make sure there is resistance in there, which does mean tightening these parts up as hard as you can possibly get them. Now we're just going to be closing off this section with the bottom of the foot. So the first thing I'm going to need is this section here. This is 2C. Which looks like that. Again, it's metal, and this point here is just going to go on the rear point just there like that. That's held in with a CM screw. So get that one in here, make that tight. Now we're going to put the toe cap on, which looks like this, which has got a fulcrum here, which is going to go onto that pivot point just here like that. Now when we screw this in, we're going to be putting it with CM screws between these 2 points here and here. But to make a little level of difficulty, we're going to be putting a spring on that. Okay. Now the hook part needs to go onto the part we just put in. So what I'm going to do is put the spring in on this point here first. Again, we are using CM screws for this. It's probably best to actually put the spring into place first on this bit here. Just like that. Now I've only put this spring in enough just so you can hold the spring in place. That's nowhere near tight at all. Put this side in, and then once again grab another CM screw and put that in gently just on this side here. It is on oil, as you can see. I haven't put it in all the way. Put these 2 parts together, get yourself some tweezers and put that spring around the screw here just like that, so it's into position, and then tighten all of these screws up. So that's 1, and this one here will be 2. Don't tighten it too much that you're going to distort the spring. So it should be straight. The spring shouldn't be bent, but as you can see, that's in place. And now we have got a little bit of spring loaded in there. Excellent. So then we're just going to be putting the bottom of the foot section in. So we need the larger part first. Again, this whole thing is metal. So this part here is what's going to house the spring. So just get that into place like this. Excellent. And then on top of that, we've got this part of the foot just going on top here like that eventually. Now, all of this is going to be held in with CM screws. So I'll put the back piece in first. And this is held in with 4 screws that you can see there. So that's that piece in. And then finally 2 more screws just to get this front plate in here. You know what? I've just realised I've missed a screw out because hidden away there, just at the side, look, there's another one. So let's get a CM screw in there as well, which means all I've got left to do to complete this foot is just the last screw in there. And there you go. That's in place. So when it's walking, look, check this out. It has got like an instep. That's great. Look at that. And obviously the spring is operating that. But that is the foot completed. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So putting both things together, what we've created, it's looking just like that. You know, I can kind of tell right from the start of these packs how good this build's going to be. But there you go. Next to my head, that's how that's going to look. And the foot, again, for scale, that's how that's going to look there. Absolutely brilliant. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I've put a link down here in the video description and on the screen. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you like New Build Day. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.